Hey guys, it's Richard from Galactic Digital, and this video is a full course that shows you exactly, step by step, how to set up your Google Ads for your local business. Now, this isn't just like a general video that gives you an overview of what to do. I'm going to go in depth, step by step, show you what buttons to click, and if you follow this video the whole way through, you'll know exactly how to set up your Google Ads account for the best possible performance for your local business. Now, why should you listen to this video? Because I've spent over $1 million in Google Ads for local businesses, generated over 40,000 leads for local businesses, and I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step process I take for all of my clients, nothing held back. As long as you follow me, you'll know exactly what to do to set up your Google Ads account for the best possible success. Other people sell this information for $500 to $1,000, or they offer consulting that goes through these exact steps I'm going to show you for thousands of dollars. So if you listen and follow this video all the way through, then you're going to get all of that information for free. Now, if you want to get the best possible result out of this course, I'm going to recommend that you follow along step by step. Don't just listen, try to follow the steps that I'm doing at the same time. That way, at the end of this video, you're going to have your account ready and done at the same time that I do. So with that said, focus up, let's dive in. Awesome, so let's get into setting up a Google Ads account. Now, the first thing you're going to want is a Google account or a G Suite, like paid workspace account. And once you've got that, log in with it. And then we're going to head over and just type in Google Ads into Google, and we'll go through the setup process together. Now, hopefully I haven't set up an account on this fresh account, so I can sort of show you how to do it together and what to click as a new advertiser. So what we're going to want to do first is get some free money. So at this time of recording, Google's offering up to $1,800 in ad credit. This number might be different depending on where you are in the world. We don't want to click sign in just yet. We want to click choose offer so we can get this free money. And I'll explain it to you. So option one is $600 in ad credit if we spend $600 within the first 60 days. Option two is we get $1,200 in ad credit if we spend $1,800 in the first 60 days. And then offer C is $1,800 in ad credit if we spend $3,600 within the first 60 days. So basically just figure out how much you're planning to spend within 60 days and then choose the offer that best matches you. I'll just select offer B, and then we want to click claim now. And that should take us into the ad account sort of process. So hopefully when I click new Google Ads account, it's going to take me through the normal setup. It looks like it is. So let's go through the steps together. Cool, so we're going to want to click create your first campaign. And I'm just going to pretend that I'm a roofing business for this example. So ABC Roofing. And I'll just put my website as like a URL for now, but obviously you'd put your website there. Cool, you might have some accounts to link, especially if you have your Google business profile. It might be good to link that now, but you can always link it later. So I'm just going to click next for now. Awesome, we want to choose a goal. We're probably going to want to say submit lead form. Actually, in this case, we might just skip this because we're going to have to do a bunch of setup. So I'm just going to skip that for now. Cool, and we're going to want to do a search campaign. This sort of onboarding changes almost every year, so if it is slightly different, just try to vaguely follow along the steps that I'm following. For this section, we're actually going to enter our keywords a little bit later in a different section, so I'll just put something basic for now. So just put like one keyword for now, but we'll go back and change this. Basically, we just want to get through the onboarding so we can kind of get to the more advanced settings. So yeah, I'll just make some basic changes to here. I'm just going to untick these two. We're also probably going to untick these later on if we didn't do it here, so it's not too big of a deal. We can just change our location as well. No, actually, I'm going to do this later. So this is fine. We'll go next. I'm just going to write some temporary ad copy here. We are also going to come back and do this. Basically, we just want to get through the onboarding. So I think we need to have an ad. Cool. So yep, don't worry about this too much. We're just kind of skipping through it. We want to focus on, we'll just set clicks for now. And then we're going to want to set a budget. It's going to suggest some kind of crazy numbers. You can just start on $5. I don't think there's a minimum, but just set this to 5 and then press next. Cool. Now it's going to want to set up your payment details, and sort of to get the promotion to be applied to the ad account, we do need to set these payment details, and now is probably the best time to set them. So, and it's also reminding us here, if we spend $1,800, then we'll get $1,200 for free after we spend $1,800. Cool, so I'm just gonna add my payment method, and you will probably get charged a temporary authorization, and that will be removed within a week. So that's basically just to make sure you're not scamming. I'll add my card and then get back to you. Awesome, so I've added my card and we can just click no and no for these two options, and then we should be able to go submit. Awesome, and you should see a page like this. We've pretty much created our campaign. If it looks slightly different, there might be an option to change it to expert mode in appearance here, or some kind of option to switch to expert mode. If it doesn't look like this, try to find that option and get your view to look like this, because we're going to want to change some advanced features that might not be accessible in the easy express mode. But if you followed my steps in the setup, you should see something that looks mostly like this. So the very first step is actually to pause the campaign that we made, just because it's a bit temporary. We don't want to pay for we don't want to pay just yet. And the next step is to do keyword research. So let's get into that. So you're going to want to go tools, and then I click tools, and then we're going to go keyword planner, and then discover new keywords. And here is where you type the keywords that are relevant to your business. Now, I recommend just typing 3 or 2, and the keywords you're going to want to type are somewhat broad, but a little bit focused. So don't type something very specific. Try to keep it a little bit broad so you can get some really good suggestions. So again, pretending I'm a roofing company, I might type roofing near me. I might type a particular service like roof replacement, and I might type my location, so roofing Brisbane. So these are the 3 keywords I'm going to add to get some more ideas of keywords. Cool, so I'll click get results. Now the next thing, especially if you're a local business, is I want to change my location to my location. So I'll do that right now. So just this button up here, change it to your location, and then we're going to get a little bit more accuracy as to how many searches we're kind of getting. Cool, so we can kind of see that there's 100 to 1,000 searches for roofing near me in Brisbane, which is good to know. Cool, so the next step is a little bit different to other tutorials, and this is closer to what an agency will actually do. I like to really do the keyword research in an in-depth and thorough way. And as a business owner or someone who's also creating Google Ads for a client, I recommend you do this step properly and not just skip through it. So the way I like to do it is to set up a Google Sheet. So let's go ahead and set up a Google Sheet. Cool, and I'll call it the name of the business or your business keyword research. So I'll just say ABC Roofing Keyword Research. Awesome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to all of these keywords that were selected, and I'm going to just do some filters. there's actually really great filtering tools in here that help you refine your keywords. If you don't see it, just click up here and go refine keywords. Now, I will move myself over, sorry. So we can see a bunch of things here. So I'll just go through them and unselect the ones that, aren't really interesting. So don't want leak detection. That sounds like another competitor. That's fine. We don't want competitors. I don't know what that's about. That's also seems like a competitor. Honestly, all of these seem like roofers, so I'm just going to untick all of them. I don't want any competitors. Cool. So next it's showing some brands. Now brands might be relevant to your business, but if you're a service-based business, people are kind of looking for materials in this case, and we want to sell a service. So these are all like brand names that are related to roofing, except a couple here. So I'll just untick the brand ones. Roof replacement Brisbane, obviously that's a great keyword, so we'll keep that. Asbestos in this case, I'm going to pretend isn't related to this business, but other roofers might do asbestos roof repairs. Basically anything to do with roof repairs, I'm going to get rid of in this example. Certified roofers kind of sounds like a competitor name, so I'm going to get rid of those. General roofing, I'll keep that. Skylights are typically a smaller job, so I'll get rid of that. I honestly recommend being quite strict with your keywords here. It's better to have high quality keywords than just, general keywords. It's going to make your life easier in the end. Again, these are a lot of keywords that we don't want. I don't even know what other is, but I'm going to untick it. Cool, service. This is a cool one that we can kind of really nail things down. So anything with roof repair, I'm going to get rid of that because we don't want to do that. Commercial, re-roofing, roof replacement are all great, so we'll keep those. Roof cleaning, I'm going to say we don't want to do that. Gutter replacement, yeah, we might want to do that. Residential is fine. Gutter repairs, again, repair things we might not want to do. Roof restoration, depends on the company, but I'm going to say we don't want to do that. Gutter insulation, that's going to be fine. Roof inspection, I'll keep it in. Roof painting, don't want to do. Industrial stuff is good. Roof maintenance, yeah, again, it's kind of like repair, so we might get rid of it. And I don't know what other is. Cool, now it's showing material. By the way, these options might be different. Obviously, if you're a lawyer, it's probably not going to be showing materials. It might be showing different types of cases. So that's when you can tick the things that, that you want. I'm just going through this example to kind of illustrate how I would do it. So here we've got materials, so metal, tile. Let's just say I don't want to do tile. I don't want to do shingles. They don't exist here in Australia, but they might in your country. So I'll get rid of those options. Cool, and yep, I don't know what these keywords are, but we'll leave them in. So just from doing those ticks and refining our keywords, we've got it down from 1400 to 850 keywords, which saves us a ton of work. So let's just export those 851 keywords we created. So I'm going to go add keywords to create plan. And just before we refine our keywords further, I just wanted to show you that you can go to forecast here, change it, leave this at maximize clicks, change it back to your location. So Brisbane. Awesome. And then, we can actually get a bit of an example of how many conversions we're going to get. So I'll add some conversion metrics. I'll say 10% conversion rate. And this is saying we'll get 46 conversions for $24 per conversion, which is a little bit cheap, but it gives you kind of a rough idea of how many leads you can expect to get. So it's kind of nice to have an idea before we even launch the ads, how many leads we're kind of expected to get. The other thing you can do is, check out this graph, and you kind of want to find the sweet spot where you're getting the most leads for the smallest budget. And where it's selected here is actually a pretty good spot. So for $40 a day, we're getting 46 leads. If we were to spend double that, so say $80 per day, then we're getting 62 leads, which is only 20-ish leads more. Cool, so after we've done the forecast, we want to go back to keyword ideas and then download keyword ideas as a Google Sheet. And then I'll just press download. And then once it's done, we can open the sheet. Now, because we refined them, there should be 854, which is correct. Cool, so the next step is to kind of refine this a little bit more. So I'll delete these top 2 rows, and then the only columns we want to keep is the keyword and average monthly searches. So I will just delete all of these columns, and then I'll add a little bit more space just for my OCD. And then what we want to do is press Control A, or you can just manually select all of them. But I'll just do Control A, and then go data and then filter. And basically we just want to filter by the top keywords. So I'll go sort Z to A, and then we can see the top keywords. And then the next step that I'm going to go through, and it's quite a manual process, so I'm going to skip to when I'm done, but we want to group our keywords. Now there is an option to group keywords within Google Ads, but I find that it doesn't work super well in some cases. So it's often better to just do it by yourself, just because we can search by the most searched keywords, and it's kind of just a bit more time efficient to do it ourselves. Cool, so for this step, we want to group our keywords into, search intent groups that are different enough that we want to write a different ad for them. But for now, just put them into different groups that you think thematically should be into separate groups. I'll go through these keywords and kind of show you as I go. I'll skip through a lot of it, but kind of show you as I go why I'm adding these keywords into different groups, and hopefully that gives you an idea of how you can do it. So I will skip through a lot of it, but roofing Brisbane and roofing near me, those are all keywords that are related to just kind of general roofing. Roof replacement is a specific service, so I'll put that in a different ad group. Companies near me, these are all kind of like local roofing related keywords, so I'll put them into that ad group. Roof replacement cost is related to roof replacement. Roofers for me is too general, so I'll actually delete it. Guttering replacement, we said that we're going to do guttering replacement, so I'll put that in. Metal roofers, that's different enough to me. I might make an ad that's like best metal roofers in Brisbane. So because I want to talk specifically about metal roofers, I'll put that in a different ad group. Roof replacement Brisbane, that goes in the roof replacement one. Gutter replacement, guttering one. Suppliers, in this example, I'm not a supplier, so I'm going to delete that one. Guttering replacement, cool, we got that. Contractors Brisbane, that goes in the first one. So I'm just going to skip to once I've completed this, and I'll talk you through it. Awesome, so I've pretty much finished the keyword research. I just wanted to point something out. If you're looking at like 50 and then you start seeing 0 monthly searches, at this point I kind of just ignore these keywords. These keywords are kind of synonyms of the keywords I might have picked anyway. And normally these types of keywords that are very specific will get picked up anyway, just because Google can kind of match keywords to these more specific keywords. So just in the sake of your time, I wouldn't worry too much about these keywords. They will be dealt with when you have the kind of higher level keywords with more searches. So don't worry about those. You can just delete all the ones with 0 searches. Awesome, so I just deleted those other keywords. All of the keywords I left are things that I don't really care about. And these keywords over here are the keywords I want to use. So I've just expanded them out so we can kind of see together how I've separated them. Roof quotes, roof estimates, those are kind of related. This is kind of my general Brisbane slash roofing company near me type of ad group. This is my roof replacement type of ad group. This is a guttering replacement ad group. This is metal roofing, and this is commercial roofing and commercial skylight replacement. So that's kind of how I've ended up breaking it down. Obviously, for your unique business, you're going to break it down however you want to break it down, but hopefully that gives you an idea of if it's a different service or a different type of intent behind the keyword. That's kind of how I've broken it down. Sorry, I just realized another helpful tip is you can Control F and just say I want to find all of the commercial keywords. Then I can just type commercial, and then it makes it easier to kind of make my commercial group. I'm just Control Xing and Control Ving. Awesome. So now that you've got your keywords organized, I just wanted to discuss why we sort of want to organize them in this way and talk about the perfect ad account structure for your account. So let me kind of explain how ideal ad account structure works. In a lot of cases, when you first set up your campaign without kind of doing it properly, you might just have one ad account, one campaign, and like one ad group with like all of your keywords in that one ad group. So if we can kind of just imagine all of these keywords together. So just imagine there's like a line. So yeah, we've basically got our ad account and our campaign and our ad group, and all of our keywords are within this one campaign. Then in this scenario, if we only have one ad for all these different keywords, so someone could type commercial roofing, but an ad for residential roofing comes up, then for the commercial roofing keywords, it's not going to look very relevant when we see like a re-roof type ad. So we want to separate our keywords into different sections so we can create different ads that really speak to that keyword. So here's kind of the optimal campaign structure I do for all my campaigns. So we have our ad account, and then within our ad account, we have campaigns. And the way I decide to break up a campaign is per service or by location. And the location one is optional. You can just have by service, I think. Basically, campaigns are used to control budgets and locations. So if you want to spend more on a certain service, it's good to have broken up that campaign. So for this example that we're going through, I would probably break it down to residential roofing and commercial roofing. Say, for example, I want more commercial roofing leads, then I could eventually increase the budget of that. The other thing I talked about is location. So say if I had two main locations, I could have residential roofing Gold Coast and residential roofing Brisbane. And say if I needed more leads in Gold Coast, then because I had separated it, I could come back and change the budget to be more for that campaign. I think it is a little bit better if you can just consolidate all your locations with one budget. But for example, if you do have like a extra area that you don't want to be super busy, but you want to have like some leads coming through, that's why you might want to separate them by location. But yeah, I'll just continue with this example where we separated it by service. Obviously, if you're a lawyer or a plumber, you might have criminal law or family law, and that might be how you break down your campaigns. Cool, then within your campaigns, you want to have ad groups, just like we did before, that kind of have different search intent behind them. So we've got people that are looking for roof replacements. I group those all together into a roof replacement ad group, and then we just have a more general general ad group of people looking for roofers near them. So Roofing Brisbane, that's a location, roofing companies near me, that kind of thing. And then in our commercial roofing campaign, we just have commercial roofing. Because we don't have too many keywords, we can kind of just group them all together into one ad group. So yeah, commercial roofing Brisbane, commercial roofing contractors. Like for example, we might have commercial roof repair, and I might make another ad group with all the roof repair, commercial roof repair keywords in that ad group. Cool. And ad groups are used to group keywords and ads together. And the reason we want to do that is if someone types roof replacement, we want to show them an ad that's very much related to roof replacements. So in this example, I've got over 5,000 plus re-roofs completed. Re-roofs is kind of slang for roof replacements, and it allows me to fit it into the headline. But yeah, if we just showed them a generic ad for this, it wouldn't perform as well as having a very specific ad that talks about roof replacements. You can see in the description, we're also saying we make the roof replacement process easy. So we're talking about roof replacement in the description as well. So that's why we want to break it down so we can have different ads for different keywords. Here's an example of just the more general one, get a fast roof estimate. And then we're talking about a location, and I'll show you how you can do dynamic locations a little bit later on. And yeah, that's just a more general example. If we had this ad instead of this ad here for roof replacements, I would say that this, and I've tested, that this ad performs better than just a more general ad for like a very specific search like roof replacement. Cool. And then yeah, commercial, we're just talking about stop commercial roof leaks, get a quote in 24 hours. Obviously this is very much related to commercial roofing. If we just had a more general ad, it wouldn't perform as well. So yeah, that's basically an overview of why we structure the ad account the way we do. And yeah, the main thing is just to group your keywords into ad groups like I've done here. And I'll show you exactly how we can go through and quickly set up this ad account structure. Cool, so the next step is actually a little bit different to what you might be used to if you've seen other Google ad account tutorials. We're going to use a software called Google Ads Editor. So just go Google Ads Editor into Google, and then we'll click on the first link, and then we want to download Google Ads Editor. I've already downloaded it, but it's very simple. Just download it and then install it. Now, the reason we want to use Google Ads Editor instead of setting up the ads and keywords in the account is it's a lot faster. And while it is like an external, I guess, program, it ends up being a lot faster and a lot easier in my mind to set it up than having to click load, wait, click load, wait when you're in the Google Ads account. So please stick with me. I'll show you all the steps and explain everything, but trust me, it's going to be easier to do it this way. Awesome. So I've got the Google Ads Editor open, and the first step is we want to open the ad account. So go account, if you're on Windows or Mac, just it's kind of the toolbar at the top, and then go open, and you should see a window like this, and we'll go add. And then we need to open our browser to sign in. So I'll just go through and do that. Awesome, all done. So now if we go back and open Google Ads Editor, we should have our ad account opened up and a little dialog box that's just telling us what ad account we want to download. So click the one you created, ABC Roofing in this example. Then go, we want to download all campaigns, click all campaigns. And we'll just wait for it to download. Obviously, we just made that like temporary one, so we don't need to stress about it too much. And that's pretty much it for what we need to do now. The next step is we want to go back to our Google Sheet and just format it in a way that we can import it directly into Google Ads Editor. And that way we just have our ad groups and keywords done automatically. Awesome. So the next step is we want to open up a new sheet, and I'll just call it export. You can call it whatever you want. This is important though. We want to just use these column names: criterion type, campaign ad group, keyword, criterion type, action. So type these columns in, and then what we want to do is we basically just want to add all of our ad groups and keywords in bulk. So I'm going to create 2 campaigns in this example. I'll create residential roofing as one campaign, and I'll create commercial roofing as well. One other thing I like to do, this is my personal flair, you don't need to do it, is I just add my initials. So when someone checks this campaign in future, if it's performing well or if it's performing badly, they know whose fault or who it was that did a good job. Cool. So let's copy our keywords. So I just take all of the keywords like this, put them in keyword, and then for the ad group name, I normally just copy the first keyword. That's totally fine. Or you can just name it something else, roofing quotes. But in the essence of speed, I normally just name the ad group the top keyword. That normally explains it anyway. So by kind of dragging down Roofing Brisbane, that's just saying that all of these keywords are going to be in the Roofing Brisbane ad group, if that makes sense. So I'm just copying and pasting. Now this might look a little bit tedious, but trust me, we're saving a lot of time. I'll leave commercial roofers, we'll do that next. So then all of these ad groups and keywords are going to go in this campaign, residential roofing. Our criterion type is going to be, this is our match type, so we'll say exact. And after this, I'll talk about match types. And then what we want to do is copy all these ad groups and keywords like that, and just make another one of phrase. So we're going to have exact match and also phrase match keywords for all of these keywords, basically. And then the action is add. And we'll just drag that all the way down. And then campaign, drag that all the way down, and then done. Cool. Then we'll create the commercial roofing campaign. And then copy that. And then drag the ad group down. And then our commercial skylight replacement just living by itself. Cool. And then we do the same thing. So we create exact keywords for everything. And then we add them. And we drag our commercial thing down. Awesome. Oh, yep, sorry. Need to duplicate it for phrase. Cool. And that's all we need to do for kind of getting our export ready. The next step is to go File, Download, and CSV. And then we want to open up Google Ads Editor again. It's just going to save to your downloads folder probably. So opening up Google Ads Editor, and I'm going to go to my toolbar at the top here and go Account, and then Import from File. Then I'm going to open up my keywords, and then awesome, you want to check that this looks about right. So we can see we've got a campaign, 2 campaigns, that sounds right. ad groups, 7 ad groups, that also sounds right, and 128 keywords. Cool. So then I just clicked finish, and then at the top left here we want to go keep all, and then yeah, everything's pretty much imported. Before we continue on, I do want to talk about match types. Awesome. So in Google Ads, there's 3 main match types. There's broad match, phrase match, and exact match. Now, as we're building a lead generation, local business type of campaign, I recommend you use phrase match and even maybe just exact match keywords just when you're getting started. You'll find if you use broad match keywords that you're going to get a lot of irrelevant searches and it's going to end up costing you a lot of money. Now, if you've talked to the Google specialists or the people that email you, they're probably going to suggest use broad match. Please just stay away from that. There are some advanced strategies where broad match can be good, but for the most part, especially when you're getting started, just stick with exact match and phrase match and you'll get much better results. So let's look at this example and kind of see how the different match types work. So we've got furniture store as the keyword. So keyword being all the like metal roofing, metal roofers is a keyword. And then the actual search term, which is what people searched to trigger that keyword, is in this example for broad match, home decor, cream colored leather sectional. Those searches were triggered for the keyword furniture store. So I would say home decor and leather sectional is kind of not super related to furniture store. Maybe if I'm looking for a furniture store, I want to be like, I want to type furniture store or furniture store near me if I want to go to a furniture store in particular. So we can see that phrase match, cheap furniture stores, living room furniture deals, these are a little bit more relevant, and exact match is definitely relevant, furniture store, home furnishing store. So yeah, as you can see here, comprehensive matching, moderate matching, tight matching. So the reason we're using phrase and exact match keywords instead of broad is we want to kind of be very specific with our searches so we don't waste money. So when we're typing in our keywords to Google, if we don't include like any quotes on the outside of the keyword, then it just gets set as broad match. If we include quotes like this, then it's a phrase match keyword. And if we include square brackets, then it's considered an exact match keyword. So we just want to be careful when we're adding keywords that we don't add broad match keywords and that we have these quotes or these brackets. And in the next section, I'm going to show you how we add our keywords to the ad account. Cool, so I'm back in our trusty friend Google Ads editor, and I'm going to show you the next steps we need to do now that we know about keyword match types. So on the left is our ad account, our campaigns, and if I open it, our ad groups, and then we'll also be able to see our keywords a little bit later. I'm just going to focus on the residential roofing campaign, and I'll just duplicate everything I talk about in the commercial roofing campaign off camera. So residential roofing, the first thing I'm going to want to do is click on my campaign down the bottom left here, and this is going to open up more information on the right that I can edit about my campaign. If I was to click ABC Roofing, this is my ad account, then this kind of shows me all of the campaigns. So you can kind of think of the left as kind of the navigation, then the bottom left is like how zoomed in I want to be. So if I want to look at all of the ad groups that are in all of my campaigns, then I could do that. But if I just want to see all of the ad groups that are within my residential roofing campaign, then I can do it like that. But yeah, let's just go to campaigns because I want to change some settings. The reason it's in red and it's complaining is because we need to set a budget. So I'm going to do $40 per day. We also want to change our bid strategy here. I'm going to change it to maximize clicks. And I'm going to disable enhanced CPC. No, actually, I'm going to enable enhanced CPC like that. And then we also want to include search partners, disable that, include display network, disable that. Campaign type is search. And if you've done everything correctly, it just becomes a search bar instead of like this window and then search. it should look like that. And that's pretty much all we need to change for the campaign settings for now. We'll do a little bit more later. So I'm just gonna do the commercial one. Awesome. And just about this bid strategy, in this video, I'm not gonna talk too much about why we're choosing bid strategy. Just, I think if you're starting a campaign, maximize clicks is the best option to click. Cool, so now we can check that everything was imported correctly. So I wanna go to my ad groups. Looks like we've got all the ad groups we selected, and then I want to go in keywords and targeting and just click keywords here, and we can see that all of our keywords were added correctly, and we can see that we've got our phrase and exact match keywords. I can sort by phrase, so we can see all of our phrase and all of our exact match keywords have been added. If I want to look at a particular ad group, so roof replacement for example, I can click on the left here and see roof replacement, and all of our roof replacement keywords were added. So the next step I want to do is to go up to account and then go post changes. And basically this will sync all the changes I made in ads editor with our campaign on Google Ads. So I'll go all campaigns and then go post. And looks like there is a couple of errors. Let's see if we can fix that. Awesome. I think because we don't have any conversion data, we're not allowed to use enhanced CPC. So I'm going to disable that for both of them. And now I should be able to post it. All campaigns post. Awesome. So now we can go into our ad account. I'll just refresh, and then we can make sure our campaigns got added. So I'll go campaigns, and we can see our 2 campaigns were added. Now at this point, because we're still not ready, I'm just gonna pause them. And in the next section, we're gonna go through creating our ads. I'm gonna go to the campaign section and then go ads. And then I'm gonna go add a responsive ad. Awesome, so let's go through how we can write the best ads possible. So I'm just going to put any old URL. Obviously you want to put your website here, and next section I will go through how to create the best possible landing page for your Google Ads. You do, if you can, want to try and use a specific landing page instead of using your website. Also, the next thing is display path, and if you see, it should come up here. So see how I've got like test. It basically just adds this to the URL in the ad, so it helps it look a little bit more relevant. So sometimes I just add one. I kind of like it to look realistic. Like to me that kind of looks realistic, but if I was to do something like roof replacement, it doesn't look like as realistic. Like it doesn't look like a real URL. So I typically don't find that you need to do 2, definitely. Just whatever looks like a natural URL, which will encourage people to click. Now in other tutorials they might not talk this deeply, but I think it's really important to do everything you possibly can to write the best possible ads, as that helps you stand out from your competitors. And it's not something that every advertiser actually does. So if you follow these steps clearly, then you'll have really amazing ads, and your campaign will naturally perform really well. So let's get into it. The first technique is to try and use symbols. So like any of these symbols in your ads. So to give you an example, you could say Brisbane's, which is a location, #1 roofing company. So I'm basically incorporating #1 here. I could also say 10% off for new customers. That way I'm incorporating 10%. The other thing I could do is incorporate a number somehow, maybe there we go, there's $1,000 off for replacements. So in all these examples, I'm using numbers and I'm using symbols. Another good one is get a free roof quote in 24 hours or hours. So in this example, I'm using all 30 letters and I'm including 24 hours. So basically, try to think of headlines where you can incorporate numbers and symbols, as that helps your ad stand out. If we just think about roof replacement Brisbane versus something like this, if you can maybe just squint, I don't know, but like compare these two headlines, I find that this stands out just a little bit more just because it has that symbol. Now, like these are small things, but I think they do add up. So that's step number one. The next thing we want to consider is to have an offer. So I wrote some of them there, 10% off for first time customers. Like these can be anything, like for one client, it's like get a free roof quote in 24 hours. You know, that's like something that sets you apart from competitors that just say get a free roof quote. You're saying in 24 hours. You can also do like discounts, like 10% off new roofs. So pretty much anything that's an offer. Obviously, if you're in legal, you can do things like the no win, no fee. Or if you're in like plumbing, you can be like no call out fee. So see how I'm saying, like, I'm not saying no call out fee. I'm gonna write $0 call out fee. You could even say like this month, you know, that way we've got even more symbols. So that's the second technique, is instead of having generic headlines, like to give you an example, in these examples we've got kind of an offer, but it's not as strong as some of those other offers I wrote. So this helps you stand out from competitors. Instead of having generic things like 10 years experience, you're actually giving someone an offer that's like, oh, okay, I really want to click on this ad because of this specific offer or giveaway. So try to stay away from being generic and incorporate those type of headlines. The next thing we want to include in our ad copy is keyword insertion and location insertion. Now, this is one of the more advanced tactics that agencies, and not even all agencies, know how to do this. So get your notebooks out. This is definitely something that can help you get a much better result. So the first one is keyword insertion. Now, as soon as I click that, you can see that all of these keywords are now considered included in our ad. So if I write roofing near me, oh sorry, I can't do capitals. See how these two get highlighted? It's because I'm including the keyword in my headline, and when people see what they typed exactly in the headline, then they're more likely to click because the headline appears super relevant to what they were searching for. So the way we can kind of automatically get all of these to tick, and it's probably going to increase our ad strength, is by just dynamically including every single keyword. And we do that with keyword insertion. So we type this little curly bracket, then we click keyword insertion. We want to change it to title case. So see how it said before it had like near me roofing, but if we change it to title case, I don't know if it'll update, but yeah, it'll be capitalized. So we'll add some default text as well. Hopefully that fits. Cool. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to incorporate, we saw near me roofing company, which doesn't make sense, but don't worry too much about it. The algorithm does eventually find words that make sense, because words that make sense will have a higher click-through rate. So don't worry about it too much. if it's not too long, then it will incorporate it. But for example, if it can't fit the word, then it'll just default to inserting this headline. That's basically what the default text means. Cool. The next one we can use is dynamic location insertion, and this will save you so much time. Back in the day, we used to have incredibly complicated ad account structures if we wanted to do something like this. So if Google detects your particular suburb or city, then it will insert the name of your suburb or city. In most cases, it can do a suburb into the ad. So it'll say Spring Hill Roofing Company, like Spring Hill is a suburb, or it'll say like a bigger city like Brisbane Roofing Company. So it's going to appear a lot more relevant to the particular user because it'll look like a very local based company. So definitely try to do this. For the default text, this is if the person's location isn't detected, it'll just default to this location. So just make it like the largest area that you have for running for the ads, in this case Brisbane. If you're running national ads, obviously it'll insert all the locations nationally, which is like really cool, but you would want the default text to be the country name, not like a particular city. So yeah, I'll just say Brisbane, and we'll try to get it to show city, not state or country. And now we can actually think of some really cool ways to incorporate it. So if we imagine this tag is a city name, then we'll just write it as we would for any city. So we can incorporate it however we want. So we can say Brisbane's #1 roofing company. Or we could say something like Brisbane-based expert roofers, or we could say Brisbane roofing experts, or we could say best roofers in Brisbane. And you can see that this will change the location to, you know, I have no idea what Catherine's Fields, Catherine Field Roofing Experts, Catherine Fields #1 roofing company. So you can kind of see how it inserted it there, which is like super cool. And yeah, honestly, that's pretty much it. I'll just like quickly write some like headline examples, and we'll just have a look at what I did at the end, and that's pretty much it for headlines. Awesome. So I've just written some as an example. I'm just going through and sort of highlighting all of the advantages of working with this company. And as you can see, I've incorporated everything I talked about using numbers, incorporating the keyword, dynamic keyword, and dynamic location. 110 reviews, that's also some numbers and symbols. Over 5,000 re-roofs completed. Yeah, these are all like numbers and symbols, and yeah, that's just what I recommend for writing headlines. So let's get into descriptions. The main thing for descriptions is we want to use as many characters as possible, so we can kind of get as close to 90 characters as we can. That way we take up more screen real estate for our ad. So I'm just going to copy in some descriptions I've already done for a campaign that's similar to this, and we can talk about them. Awesome. So as you can all see, they're pretty much very close to 90 characters, and you can actually include exclamation marks sort of in the descriptions, so play around with that. I like to also include a testimonial that will fit within 90 characters in the ads. I think that helps things stand out a little bit, like when you're reading an actual review. I also like to capitalize all of the words as well, except maybe the review, as I find that helps the ads stand out a little bit more when you're capitalizing all of the descriptions. And yeah, that's basically it. Try to use as many characters as possible, and again, just basically it's the same as the headlines, except you can actually use longer sentences. And that's it for writing the ads. Next up, we're going to talk about some of the ad extensions. which really help our ads stand out even more. At the moment, we just have the headlines and descriptions. We're going to want to include ad extensions to make our ad even bigger. So let's go through that. I'm going to press save ad, and then we're going to go to assets, and then assets, and we're going to add all of the extensions that we can. We're going to want to add our business name and business logo. Now, to do this for a new advertiser, you're going to need to complete the advertiser verification process. Because this is just a made-up business, I can't do that, but please go through this process. It takes like 1 to 3 days to get approved, and then once you've done that, you can add your business name and business logo, which really helps your ad stand out. So I'll skip ahead to adding a site link. Now, what site links are typically used for is like links, secondary links like about us and contact and, you know, like our team. Those kind of links, and they will go to different websites typically. But here's my hack. I like to just add them as extra headlines with extra call to actions. So I'll just give you some examples. So we can say 24-hour quotes. I'm just going to do 2 to give you an example. Now, the tricky thing I like to do for site links is instead of them actually going to different links, they all go to the same link. But what I do is I add what's called a query parameter. Don't worry too much, just kind of follow how I do it. After the link to your landing page, we add a question mark, and then we type site link, and that can be anything, but let's just say site link equals quote, and that's just kind of a description of what this site link is. And by doing this, this link now looks like a different link. Oh yeah, sorry. So if I were to put this in this one, it's going to have an error because duplicate site links won't be allowed. But if I change it to equals site link equals experience, or maybe workmanship, then it allows it. So that's kind of a hack I like to do. So let's make this one. Again, try to fill up these as much as possible. Yep, like that. I'm just going to do 2, but continue on and add site link equals and just change the name of whatever you add after the equals, and then it'll go to the exact same link, but we can make it look like different. And all of the links will go to the same landing page, so we don't need to make multiple pages, and we might even get some tracking data of that they clicked on the site link. Cool, so that's site links. Try to add all 4. I'm not going to do that for this example, but definitely add all 4. And then the next one you probably want to do is adding callouts and add it to the campaign. So this is where you can just add things that'll get tacked on to the end of the description. So free quote, call today, fully licensed and insured. Awesome. Then you can try to add a structured snippet. There's some type. Yeah, we can add types, or we could add service catalog, and then we could say some of the services. Whatever services you want to add in here, you can add. So I'll do that. And then call, this is a really important one you want to add, so just add your phone number in here. I don't have a phone number for this one, but it'll look like something like that. It'll give you an example of the format that you should have it in. So yeah, something like that. Obviously make sure it's a phone number that actually works. And then location, if you have a Google My Business, I definitely recommend you try to add your Google My Business. This account doesn't have a Google My Business, but if you do, definitely try to add it in here. Price and promotion, they're both kind of difficult to add unless you're selling a specific service. So say for example you're like a car detailer and you have a set price, then you can add your prices in here. So you can have like car detailing for like $200 or whatever it is. You can go through and kind of add your set services here. Definitely try to do that. But for businesses where it's more of a quote, you can't really do that. Promotion, if you're running a promotion like 10% off, you can change it to percent and go like 10% off new roofing, something like that. Whatever you have like a promotion of, you can run it like that. In this case, we can't really do it, so I'm going to ignore it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for ad extensions. Basically, it takes, 20 minutes to an hour to add them all, but definitely try to add them all, as it definitely helps your ads get clicked on. And just to show you, I'm going to go back to our ads. Sorry, I'm just going to remove our site links and just re-add them because I want them to show for our full campaign. I made a mistake and I said add to ad group. We want to add to campaign. So I'm just going to quickly add all of them back in, and I'm actually going to add all 4 so we can see them more clearly. So I'll just be back when I've done this. Okay, awesome. So I've added the site links and then we can see them here in the ad example. And we can remember that since adding these site links, our ad is now a little bit longer than it used to be. So we're going to take up more space, which is definitely good. And on mobile, maybe not always, but it should show our call number down here, which will be great. I don't think I added the call number. So when you add the call option, then you'll be able to see that down here as well, which is great. Now, once you've been running ads for a little bit longer, you will see an option here as well to add images, but I guess because I'm a new advertiser, I don't get that option. But as soon as you can add images into your assets, definitely try to add them in, as that will also help performance. So we've created one ad and we've created the assets for that ad. The next step is to copy this one ad to all of our different ad groups and just make some slight changes to the ad copy. Now, this is quite a process to do in this website. I like to create the ad in the website because it's kind of a nice experience. But to kind of copy this ad to different ad groups can be a bit of a pain. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the ads editor and copy all of the ads, and I'll show you how to make changes for each ad in each ad group. I'm back in the ads editor, and the first thing we're going to want to do is, because we made some changes online in Google Ads, we need to sync them back to the ads editor. So to do that, we're going to want to go account and then full download, and then go all campaigns. And then after this is done, we should see the changes, like the ad we created, get synced to the Google Ads editor. Cool, so I added the ad in, I think, Roofing Brisbane, and we can see the ad here. Obviously it looks a little bit more complicated, but we can see all of the headlines we added here. So the next step is really simple. We can just Control C. I like to click on this like headline 1 position. If I click here, sometimes it can like go into editing mode. So just click around here, Control C. And then if I open up my campaign here, then I can see all my different ad groups. So I'm just going to click into all the different ad groups and just paste it in, basically. Cool. And then I'm going to click on Roofing Quotes, do that first, and just go through my headlines and see if I want to make any changes. Honestly, Roofing Quotes is kind of similar. I'm just going to add some things here that talk about roofing quotes in particular. Don't really need to make any huge changes. We'll go to roof replacement. Now here, these keywords we can remember are definitely talking more about like roof replacements. So instead of being like generic, we want to be talking about roof replacements. So roof replacement experts. I think we've already got one, like over 5,000 re-roofs completed. We can say, Brisbane's #1 re-roofing pros. Or maybe team is better than pros. Get a free roof replacement quote. Free roof replacement quotes. Sorry, looks like I'm kind of in the way. Affordable roof replacements. So what I'm doing here, you can totally do for your industry. Just make each ad kind of more particular to the ad group which we created earlier. So this one's metal roofing, so let's make these all about metal roofing. Awesome. And then guttering replacement. It's always satisfying when you hit exactly 30 characters. So yep, I would go through this in more detail, but I just kind of want to demonstrate it quickly. So that's what I need to do for kind of copying the ads into all the different ad groups and making changes to the ads to be more specific. I would also go through my descriptions and see if I can change them as well to be a little bit more specific, just because I want to get through this, I guess, a little bit quickly. That's why I'm not going to do that. But this whole process is why we split these into different ad groups, so that we can have different ads that particularly speak to different types of clients. And yeah, we do that by just tweaking the ad copy. And this will have a big difference, so it's definitely worth taking the time to do this properly. So the next step is to post these changes. So I'll do that. Awesome. And same for commercial roofing. I would do the exact same steps. I could even just copy one of the ads I made in here over to commercial roofing and then change it to be more commercial roofing. That's pretty much it for creating the ads. We've created the ads, we've done the keywords, we've done the keyword research, we've structured our ad account, we've created the ads. The next step is to go through and look at the settings that we have for our campaigns. Just make some tweaks there. We want to do the location targeting as well. And then the next step is to do the conversion tracking. So let's get back into the ad account and we'll change some of the settings. Awesome. So for these settings, we want to go to our campaign. I posted the changes, so we should see all of the ads being fed through. We want to go to campaign settings. So I went to campaigns on the left here, made sure that the campaign I wanted to change is selected. Oh, what have I done? Yep. And then I go campaign settings here. Awesome. So conversion goals, don't need to worry too much about that. We want to make sure networks, we want to make sure both of these aren't selected. They're not, because I think we changed that. We want to change the location. At the moment, it's our whole country. So I'll go enter another location and then I'll enter Brisbane. Awesome. And then we want to definitely go location options and we want to change it from presence or interest to presence. Presence or interest actually is anyone searching for this location, like maybe they want to travel to this location. If you're getting leads from like weird locations, definitely check out this setting and make sure you have it set to presence. This means that only people who are in your location or pretty much always in your location should be showing your ads. This is like a big setting to change. Awesome. English can be the language. Budget, we'll just do $40 a day. Obviously set this to whatever you want to. The next one we want to look at is bidding. Now bidding is a very controversial topic. Some people might recommend to do manual CPC. I recommend to do maximize clicks to start. If you want to be more in control, you can do manual CPC, but let's just do maximize clicks to keep it simple. This will basically get as many clicks as possible for your account. And then I would recommend that once you have about 30 conversions, 30 leads per month, then you could switch it to maximize conversions. And if you find that you're getting expensive leads, then and you do have more than 30 leads per month, then you can change it to maximize conversions with like a target cost per acquisition, which might not show up at the moment because I don't have conversion tracking. But yeah, let's just go with maximize clicks. And when I get into the optimization section of this course, I'll show you how to kind of quickly optimize the account so we don't waste too much money. You will find with maximize clicks, we're going to get a lot of clicks and it's not going to be exactly for what we want, but that's okay. In the first couple days of the account, we are going to spend money where we don't necessarily want to spend money, but that's good. We're getting the data to make sure that in the future we can stop that from happening by adding negative keywords. So there's nothing we can really do to stop getting, low quality clicks, especially when we're first starting an account. It's just going to happen unless you have like negative keyword lists from a previous account in like a different area, for example. So yeah, maximize clicks is basically what we want to select. So go save there. Broad match keywords, please make sure this is off. Additional settings. Sometimes there's an option for like auto select, auto apply recommendations. Try to turn that off if you see that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for settings. Awesome. We've set our location. That's the main thing. So the next thing we want to talk about is conversion tracking. So we want to go goals and then conversions, summary, and then we want to add a new conversion action. And there's two that we want to add. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this for free. And then there's a paid option, which I think is much better. The downside of this free option is, yeah, we sort of can track phone calls, but we can't actually listen to the phone calls. And we don't know what keyword they typed to receive that phone call. Same with the website. It's kind of hard to see what keyword they typed when they converted. So after showing you how to set this up for free, I'm going to show you a paid method, which is much better because you get emails that show you exactly what keyword they typed to become a lead. And it also records the phone calls so you can see what keywords are triggering what phone calls, and you can actually listen to the phone calls that came through. As a local business, a lot of your leads are actually going to come through from phone calls from your landing page. So yeah, doing it the paid method is better, and I'll explain that after I go through this free method. So website, we want to add the website domain, and then we want to go submit lead form, and then we want to go page load on thank you page. So you're going to want to create a thank you page that after you submit the form, it redirects to that thank you page. And yeah, page load. I think this is only for if you have Google Analytics installed, so I'll show you how to do it manually as well. This probably is what you're going to want to do. So go add. Again, we'll do a submit lead form. And we'll just not worry about using a value unless you're e-commerce. We want to change it to 1. So even if they sign up for the form like multiple times, because maybe they didn't think it submit, we only want to count that as 1 conversion because that's 1 person. Obviously, if it's e-commerce and they're making multiple purchases, then that's fine. But because we're mostly doing lead generation, set this to 1. And I also like data driven. That means if they click multiple ads and they visit the landing pages multiple times, it'll be kind of split between the 2 different keywords they typed as a conversion, not just the last one they did. Don't worry too much about that though. Done, agree and continue. Now, the next step is you can install a Google tag and kind of set that up, but I think it's a bit easier just to copy this snippet and add it to your head tag in your landing page, in your thank you page. So just follow some instructions on Google for how to add a snippet to your head tag on your thank you page, and then yeah, this conversion will work. Awesome, so that's pretty much it for the form conversions. If you do have a double up like me, maybe we remove the automatic one. We're going to use the manual one. Yeah, so like this. And then we'll create one for the phone calls. So then you're going to want to type in the phone number that's on your website. I don't have a phone number. So this should be your phone number. And this is the number that's displayed on your website at the moment. I think they're pretty much going to be the same, but you just want to make sure they look like this. And then once you've installed this, you can go to the website and you can kind of see that Google should be swapping the number with their tracking number. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll go install the tag yourself, and then yeah, copy this tag here and paste it in the head, and also copy this phone snippet and paste it in the head. This one you're gonna want to copy and paste like across your entire website, and this one as well can be through your entire website. It's just for the submit form one, you just want that on the thank you page. Awesome, and that's pretty much it. So that's the setup for free. I don't recommend this for a couple of reasons, but if you have a budget of less than $500 a month, then I think this is a pretty good option. But if you're spending more than that, then I think it's worth to really properly track your conversions. So let's get into the paid method of doing it. There's one software I recommend, which is called What Converts. So I'll kind of show you. In terms of pricing, I would recommend getting the $60 per month option, which allows you to track calls and also forms. And yeah, that's kind of the best option. And I'm pretty sure that plan includes a bunch of forms per month. And yeah, so up to 300 form submissions and 148 phone call leads per month is kind of included, with some extra charges for when you're adding phone numbers. But yeah, I'll go through that. Awesome. So this is What Converts once you kind of get it set up, just to give you an idea of why I like it so much. So we can see how many leads we got. I think this is like a 1 week period. We could look in the last 30 days. So yeah, 341 leads. And then we can see how many calls we got and how many forms we got. We can also look at specific reports and see leads by keyword, which is like pretty cool to see. So we can see landscaping services got the most leads, turf installation 7 forms, 4 calls. So you can really see what type of keywords are getting you the most leads in this way, which is pretty cool. And then in terms of tracking, it's so easy to set up. So we just go calls, phone numbers, okay, and then you're going to want to go tracking and then phone numbers, which will get you to this section. This is just like an empty account to show you. And you go add dynamic pool, typical setup, and then enter whatever your location is and enter your area. And then you're only going to need 2 numbers. So untick these 2 unless you have like a lot of traffic, but 2 is normally enough. And then yeah, just go next step. There's some like basic settings. I'm not going to go through this just because I don't want to get charged for extra numbers, but yeah, just go through these steps. It's basically just setting up. I think I can go through them. Yeah, enter your number, and then there's an option to turn on call transcription, and I definitely recommend that, because whenever you get a phone call, then you get an email with a transcription of the phone call, so you don't even have to listen to it, you can just read it. Then go forms and add a web form. And again, this is super easy. We just go add web form. So this is our landing page. We want to type in the URL of the landing page and go find form, which I will probably blur out. And we can see that we got the form detected. So super easy. Then go finish, and then the form will be added. Again, I think this is much easier than adding like thank you pages. You don't even need thank you pages anymore. So that's how I recommend setting it up. We also need to go tracking and then integrations, and we want to connect our Google Ads account. So this basically, what converts is tracking the forms, but then we want it to send data to Google Ads as we would for a conversion. So we go add connection, and then we want to log into our account. I've got an agency account, but you might just have like one account here. And then select the account, change it to, I'll just quickly go through this. Add your extension number to be Google Ads extension. Then we want to count it for 1. First click is fine. New lead received. When the sales value changes, we can update it. You can do phone calls later than 10 seconds, but honestly, I just do it for 0. And then send enhanced conversions. You can click yes for that one, but I'm not going to worry for this. It's just an example. Disconnect this. But yeah, you should see green ticks for everything, and that's how you know you've set it up correctly. The other thing we're going to want to do is get our tracking code and just copy this code into the head tag of your website. This is the only tag copying we have to do. Unfortunately, it's a necessary evil, but once you've copied it, you should be able to see a confirmation if it was installed correctly. That's pretty much it. And then you can see the leads as they come through, phone calls, forms. Just to show you, you also get an email whenever you get a form submission, and you get to see where the lead came from and the keyword for the lead, which is really useful. And then for phone calls, you also get to see exactly the keyword the phone call came through. And then you get to read the transcription of the phone call as well, which is like amazing. Awesome. So we've pretty much set up everything. We've set up our keywords. We've set up our ad account structure. We've set up the ads. We've set up the conversions. Hopefully you had no difficulties getting to this point. But yeah, now we're pretty much ready to start the campaign. So go to campaigns and then start the campaign. The next step we want to do, and I've opened up a pre-existing campaign to kind of show you, is we want to go search terms, and then we want to look through all of the search terms we're receiving. And this one's kind of already been optimized, so we might not see too many bad searches, but I'll see if I can find some. Wow, honestly, all of these searches are really good. Okay, so I saw roofing Tasmania. Tasmania is not really close to Brisbane at all. So what we can do is copy Tasmania and do this for like any keywords you see. If you see a particular word that you don't like, for example, could be repair, or ceiling is another one I just saw. So we'll remember ceiling and Tasmania. If people are ever searching ceiling, maybe ceiling's fine actually, but for this example, I'll include it. Tasmania or ceiling, we know that our ads don't want to be shown for those keywords. So just think about keywords you know aren't really related to your services. We can add those as negatives. So in the future, our ads don't get shown for people typing those types of keywords. So go down to search keywords, and we want to go to negative keywords. And as you can see in this account, I've got 1,483 added. So this campaign's been running for a long time, and a lot of these have been added. As you can see, all of these keywords are like competitor names, mostly competitor names, and some other roofing terms that we don't want to show up for. But yeah, I'll add the 2 that we found. So Tasmania and ceiling. Honestly, I don't mind ceiling, but that's fine. We'll get rid of it. And then we just want to select the campaign. I'll just do residential roofing, because definitely don't want to do ceiling for residential roofing. So we can go save, and boom, that's pretty much how you optimize the account once it's running. Especially because we're doing maximize clicks, we might get a bunch of really weird keywords. So this is called negative keyword optimization. So just going through your search terms report, looking for really weird terms, and just try to find the one or 2 words that make it not a useful keyword. So for example, we don't want to add roofing as a negative keyword because a lot of good keywords have roofing in them. We want to find the word that isn't good for the keyword. So like repair, ceiling, like roof is good, but roof ceiling is bad. So in that case, we want to get rid of ceiling. Hopefully that kind of explains how to continue optimizing the account. And that's really the main type of optimization. Once your campaign's been running for about 7 days, there's a couple of metrics that we want to look at. First up is conversion rate. So if you've set up your conversion tracking properly, you should be seeing conversions and a conversion rate. If after a couple of days you have received emails that you think are from Google Ads, but it's not showing a conversion, sometimes it does take a day or two to show up. So maybe just wait 2 days. But if it's not showing up and you haven't set it up correctly, try to find some other YouTube videos, and I'll be making some shortly to try and help fix the conversion tracking problem. But you definitely want to get your conversion tracking correct. But yeah, we want to look at our conversion rate, and I would say anything below 5% is not good. So if you're getting a lower than 5% conversion rate, you want to look at using a landing page if you're not already. If I type Brisbane Roofing, we can look at some competitors. I'm sorry, I'm going to be charging them money by doing this. And we can look at their landing pages. So this is an example of a landing page, and this is what I would call a good landing page. It's quite simple. We don't need to scroll down to see a form. We see the form directly. So that's a good kind of thing to do. Then we've just got some ticks showing, the benefits of this company. And yeah, the main thing is that the form is really easy to fill out. It's directly on the page. If we go into mobile view, again, we've got a pretty easy to call button, and we don't need to scroll down too far to access the form and get a quote. That's the main thing. You just want it really easy for people to become a lead. Let's have a look at another example. Again, this one's pretty good. We've got the phone number, we've got the form in a fairly easy spot to fill out. Okay, this is an example of a not super great form. We've got this button here, which takes me to the form, so that's okay. But this would be better if the form is exactly on the right side. Cool, so this is an example of maybe not a great landing page. I just clicked on an organic listing, so it's not necessarily their fault, but it's more of like a website layout. And as you can see, there's all these different links that I can click on. I can look at their about page, kind of get distracted with that and not become a lead. We do have this book your free roof inspection button, which goes to the contact form. But as you can see, it's not as clear that we need to click this. The form's not even really visible as soon as we get to the page. If I go on mobile, yeah, it's kind of obvious that it's there, but it's not as good as it could be. Again, this is kind of their website, so can't really blame them for it. But this is kind of the danger of using your website instead of a landing page. You just give people a lot of opportunities to click around to different links. So again, this is an example of a good landing page. I can't even click on their logo. I'm pretty much just stuck on this page. And the only thing I can do is look at pictures, read reviews, and fill out a form or give them a call. That's pretty much what you want to do. It sounds a bit evil, but basically you want to trap people, and the only thing they can do is leave or fill out the form or give you a phone call. And that's how you can get a really high conversion rate like this. So yeah, 21% is very, very good, particularly in the roofing industry. But yeah, if you can aim for more than 5%, then you're doing pretty well. Greater than 10%, you're doing really well. So obviously cost per conversion is another one to look at. You're going to have your own target for what you want your cost per lead to be, but basically the name of the game is to get it as low as possible. In this example, if our conversion rate was 10%, then our cost per conversion would be $140. So that's kind of why increasing our conversion rate is really important. The other metrics to look at, particularly when you're starting, is your click-through rate. And this is how well your ads are performing. So again, I would say anything greater than 5% is good. If you're getting less than 5%, double check that you're not using broad match keywords, that you're using phrase and exact match keywords like we set up. If you're using broad match keywords, that might be why you're getting a low click-through rate, just because the ads aren't super relevant. Sorry, the keywords aren't super relevant. But yeah, anything more than 5% is pretty good. Try to aim for 10% if you can, but you know, this campaign's performing really well and it's only got an 8% conversion rate. So, sorry, it's only got an 8% click-through rate. So I think anything more than 5% is good. And that's pretty much all the metrics you need. If you're getting no impressions, then make sure that you're using maximize clicks to get started. That just will simplify the process and pretty much make sure that no matter what, you should start getting some clicks. It does take a couple days for your ad account to ramp up. So if it's day one and you're barely getting any impressions, don't worry, just give it a couple of days. As you're a new advertiser, Google does need to build up a little bit of trust. Don't worry though, it's much faster than SEO. The other thing to look out for is search impression share. And this is basically showing you how much your ads are showing and this is showing you how many times your ad is showing in your local area. So basically this says for roofing related keywords that we've set up, we're showing 32% of the time. Now, if you want to show up as much as possible, then I'd recommend getting this number to like 70%, but obviously you're going to need to increase your budget to do that. More than 70%, and then it starts to become ridiculously expensive to show up more. So 70% is kind of the cap you want to sort of run at for impression share. But that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. I have no idea how long this is going to be, but pretty much I showed everything that you need to do to set up your Google Ads account correctly. And I hope you were able to kind of stick through and follow all the steps. If you do have any questions, leave them below in a comment. I'll try to help out as much as I can. Setting up a Google Ads account can be a complicated process, but hopefully this step-by-step sort of video helped you get through it. Spending the time to really set it up correctly is going to definitely help you. It's easier to set things up correctly for the first time rather than kind of fixing it later. If you do need help setting up your campaign or maybe looking at your campaign which isn't getting great results, I've left a link to my calendar below, and if you'd like my help, book in a call, book in a meeting, and I can definitely help you with your Google Ads, whether it be setting it up or maybe looking at an audit to kind of see what's going wrong with your account. I'm more than happy to help you out. So thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.